Hello everyone, my name is Arman and in this video I'm going to talk about my research about Industry 4.0 in robotics as a part of my participation in software design for robotics applications course. So to begin with, let's start with a little bit of background. When we hear the term Industry 4.0, you probably think that there is a 3.0, 2.0 and 1.02. So you're actually right. The Industry 1.0 was basically declared in 1784, and it was the first industrial revolution, which was steam and water power. They were used to machinize production. The second industrial revolution was in 1870. Electricity allowed for mass production with assembly lines. The third one was in 1969, which IT and computer technology got involved, and they are used to automate process. In this presentation here, I'm going to talk about the fourth industrial revolution, which I would change today to 2018, was pretty much declared, and it is here for to enhance automation and connectivity with CPS. As you could see in the last slide, there are some similarities between stage 3 and stage number 4. They all involve a lot of processes about computers and automation. So let's see actually what is the difference between these two stages. So in stage number 3, we automate process using logic processors and information technology. The process can often operate largely without human interference, but pretty much there is always a human aspect behind it. But where in industry stage number 4 comes in with the availability and use of the vast quantities of data on the production floor. So let's see an example for the difference between stage 3 and stage 4. For example, CNC machines. You're probably familiar with the CNC machines. In stage number 3, they're largely automated, but they still needs the human input, and they can't work without that. Another thing about them is that the process is based on human input, and it's not based on the data that they can gather by themselves. But where in stage number 4, a CNC machine can follow set programming parameters and also use data to streamline production process. So using these capabilities, they can pretty much do everything by their own without human interference. So let's see some of the stages that Industry 4.0 had the most improvements over the previous versions. For example, identifying opportunities, optimized logistic and supply chains, autonomous equipment and vehicles, robots, additive manufacturing like 3D printing, and a very important one, Internet of Things and the cloud. So in the following slides, I'm going to give some examples about them and learn more about each one of them. There's this interesting story that an African gold mine using artificial intelligence identified a problem with the oxygen levels during leaching. Once they fixed that, they were able to save more than $20 million a year. Now, let's take a look at the graph on the right, which is directly related to this same case. You can see on every field is every value and variable that they analyzed and checked with the artificial intelligence to see what kind of opportunities they can get, what kind of problems they have. Like for example, look at some of the fields like a smart energy consumption, intelligent LUTs, real-time yield optimization, and much more. This is very hard task to do by using people, but artificial intelligence can make it much easier, more accurate, and find more data in that. Let's take a look at this slide about autonomous shipping yard. There are shipping yards that are actually leveraging autonomous cranes and trucks to streamline operations as they accept shipping containers from the ships. It is very interesting that already in these years you can find some of them. They're not very common, but it is easy to predict that there are going to be more and more by the upcoming years. I am pretty confident that you have already heard of Internet of Things and the cloud. They're a key component of Industry 4.0. So, generally speaking, the cloud environment is a breaking point in the industry where the equipment and the operations can be optimized. Also, it allows smaller enterprises access to the technology that they wouldn't be able to run on their own. So all these previous examples are directly related to Industry 4.0. Some of them are indirectly related to robotics, some not, but let's actually get into the Industry 4.0 in robotics. I believe this video is a very interesting video to see to get familiar with the industry in robotics. Let's go and watch it together.
Meet Amazon's newest holiday workers, the Kiva robots. At this fulfillment center in Tracy, California, more than 3,000 of them on the warehouse floor, helping employees fill millions of orders.
So it is both interesting and scary to see that robots are already taking human jobs. Like in the last video, there are robots that are doing the job that people in Amazon warehouse used to do. A lot of people are already scared that robotics is gonna take the human place, but actually that is not completely true. The International Federation of Robotics believes that less than 10% of jobs could be fully automated. But in addition to that, it can have many more advantages to the workers and employees of a companies too. Like it can help them do their task easier using these technologies. Also, it's gonna help the company itself. Like there are some tasks that could effectively be done 24/7 with no problem, with no person getting tired. So it can really improve productivity. From another perspective, automation can also lower overhead cost of the business by utilization. For example, some businesses use robots for delivering goods, like restaurants. They can have less employees and use the robots, so this is basically gonna reduce their cost. Another point is that some robots require a smaller amount of space. So again, instead of having an employee with a bigger amount of space, they can move maybe to a smaller warehouse and do the same thing but with cheaper costs. There is also this human error factor. In every business, in every company, we should always consider the human error factor. It's gonna happen at some point. Some companies have to deal with it more, some less, but it is there. So another thing about this in smart technologies is that it can reduce human errors because it's not human. It's a computer doing calculation and perhaps using artificial intelligence. It's gonna help him make less mistakes. So it has a lot of advantages for us and for businesses to consider using them. And lastly, I want to talk about my personal opinion on this subject. So, this research gave me a lot of good ideas as a computer programmer. So, this industry stage 4 has been pretty recent, from 2018, we would say. Let's look at the other stages. The stage 1 started from 1784 to 1817, around the century, and from stage 2 to stage 3 from 1870 to 1969, again around the century. And the same thing with the next stage. So I would assume that this stage would take some years and it's gonna get to very, very great achievements. So now that it just started, and for me as a computer program, I know I can contribute to this industry, this stage of industry a lot and make a lot of difference. I believe with these kind of technologies, the sooner you catch onto it, it's gonna help you more. It doesn't matter if you're the developer, you can help building the industry, or you may be a business owner that only want to use a specific small part. Maybe you just want a robot to carry some stuff for you. But eventually the industry 4.0 is taking over and whoever which any company or any businesses that don't want to adopt and don't want to use it are gonna lose eventually. Maybe not now, but in the upcoming years. So I hope that you liked my video. As my last suggestion, I want to say to everyone and actually to myself that in industry research for artificial intelligence and machine learning is a very important thing. So knowing this and knowing that it's pretty new and it's going to be around for a while and it's going to change the industry, these are good fields to concentrate on, to focus on, and improve the skills and maybe to actually work on. So I hope for you that to found something interesting and maybe found a new plan to work on some of these topics like artificial intelligence or machine learning. Anyways, thank you for your attention. I hope you liked it. Take care.